Welcome back to another episode of the Andrew Roman Show. Man, if you're watching, you probably tell we're in a different setting. Yes, quarantine has got us all, man. We are actually at my house right now, so if you're listening, you probably can't tell a difference. But hey, watch our YouTube channel so that way you can see both settings and both studios. But man, I'm super excited to just be back with you guys every week. And what crazy times we are living in right now. Like it's crazy. The one word I've heard over and over again is unprecedented. Like it's always like I was having a meeting with the job that I work at a couple weeks ago. They use that same word, economically speaking, unprecedented. Then it's like health-wise, unprecedented, and everything. It's just, they keep asking a young boy, a 5-year-old, have you ever seen anything? Well, the poor kid's like 5 years old, right? But then they even ask adults, have you ever lived through anything like this in your life? And everyone says it's unprecedented. Well, it is unprecedented, but that doesn't mean that we can't learn how to deal with it or we can't actually come out of it better. Because in this episode, we're going to talk about 3 ways or 3 things to help your quarantine not suck. Yo, I thought of a better title than this, but let's just get real. Like, how can we help each other so that this quarantine doesn't suck? Because the reality is that we can come out of this quarantine whenever we do, the same than how we came in, or actually worse. Like, that's a very real possibility. So I want to share with you just 3 things that have helped me actually come out better. So whenever this whole thing is over, I want to be a better person. I want to be a better human being, but I also want to be a better follower of Christ. So I want to just break down 3 things for you. But before I do, I want to ask you a question. How's your quarantine doing? Because we are all experiencing it different. I've always said this way before we were in a pandemic, that it's crazy how we all live the same 24 hours, but we all live them in such different ways, right? I mean, when it's Monday for you, it's Monday for me. When it's Tuesday for you, it's Tuesday for me. But we all live those 24 hours differently. And I think it wouldn't be right to assume that your day was as good as mine or your day was as good as mine. So that's why I want to ask you, like, hey, how's your day doing? Let me know. Honestly, I want to create a community where we're always in constant communication because I do care about how everything's going. I know quarantine has hit a lot of people, man. I know it's hit my family. It's probably hit your family. A lot of people have lost jobs. They've even lost family members to the sickness. But I do want to encourage you that we're in this together. We're in this. We can actually make it out, and we're going to make it out better. So number 1 thing right now to help your quarantine not suck is to get connected. Okay, now what do I mean by get connected? Well, in the time of social distancing can actually be a time when we're most connecting. What? Say that again. Okay, I'm gonna say it again for you. That a time of social distancing can actually be a time when we're most connecting. Now, how is that? Because if you think about it, a lot of the reasons that we weren't connected before, or a lot of the obstacles to connection, such as you never had a ride to go to your friend's party, right? Or location, right? There was always an event. This happened to me a couple days ago when I received an invitation to partake of an online conference that was happening supposedly in North Carolina. Not anymore. It's happening online. And actually I thought, well, this is a blessing. I would have never been able to be part of that conference if this pandemic hadn't happened. Now, I still would have rather this pandemic not happen. But if you think about it, a lot of the obstacles that before stopped you from connecting with people are not stopping you now. We are all online. It's actually crazy. The New York Times just last week came out with an article of the usage of the internet right now. It's pretty fascinating. For example, they broke down that interestingly, people haven't increased or haven't used their phones more than normal. They're using their computers more than normal and the websites. So for example, Facebook only had an increase of usage of about a couple percentage on the app, but in the website, it had like a 27% increase. And then Netflix didn't have much of an increase, only about 15%, which just tells you how many people were using Netflix already. People are like, this is no different. I'm still Netflixing all night. And then the other one I think was TikTok. I mean, TikTok has taken over the world. Are you a TikToker? Honestly, I ain't got time for that. Like, I appreciate the TikToks. I'm happy that TikTokers exist because I laugh at them. I just don't watch them. I don't even have the app. I was reading an article, actually. I'll get back to the New York Times statistics, but I was reading an article of how even in this time, people are now finally like giving in to TikTok. People are like, I ain't got no time for that. Well, now you do, and it's the most downloaded app right now, currently. It's crazy. It has like over, I don't want to misquote this, but something like over 300 million or something like that, numbers wise. Hey, check it out for yourself. Don't quote me on that. But it's crazy that we're all online right now. Zoom, for example, if you see the charts, if you had no idea what Zoom was, now you do. You're a Zoomer. You always blame all the boomers. Well, now you are a Zoomer, okay? You are a Zoomer because I saw the chart. It went, I mean, you can't really see it on if you're listening, but it just skyrocketed of the amount of people that were now using Zoom for everything. It used to just be business, but now even our youth group at church is using it and everything. But here's the thing, that just being online is not enough to get connected, right? I mean, we learned that in the age of social media, we weren't necessarily more connected. A lot of times we felt more lonely because we could portray a fake life on Instagram that wasn't our real life. So one of the ways that you can help your quarantine not suck is to actually be intentional about connecting. To actually be intentional about connecting with friends. Like, one thing that I encourage you is, do you have a group of friends that you're in constant communication? That might just be texting, and that's okay. But don't believe the lie that somehow you're better off on your own, because at some point it's gonna catch up on you. And you can't do this alone. At least you're not going to come out better if you do it alone. So I encourage you, get in the group that does it. I mean, look, I got my boys, man. I got my homeboys. We're like texting GIFs or GIFs. Don't argue with me of what it is. I don't even know. GIFs. I'm going to just spell it for you. But we'd be texting that back and forth the entire time. And it's just a bunch of fun. But I can tell you, man, it'd be hard. It'd be hard if I didn't have that constant communication. And sometimes once a week, we'll get on the Zoom call. We'll play Kahoot. Kahoot's a great game. So I want to encourage you that one of the ways that you can help this quarantine not suck is not doing it on your own. Like, don't do it on your own. Be intentional about connecting. This is a time, if you've never been part of the youth group in your church and they're doing the Zoom call, join in. That's okay. You can go on mute and turn off your camera if you're too shy, but at least join in. Like, have a way that you can connect right now. And especially for those that were because what this is doing right now, the quarantine, is for some of us, is giving us a lot of time, right? And then for some like me, I'm just busy as always. Like, my family right now with church, we're like double work, it just feels like. So we're not really the family that's just having a bunch of extra time, but somewhere along the lines, you can find some extra time. So I want to encourage you that even if you're working, you might not be in school anymore and you're working and you're really busy, take a couple minutes to connect with people. Find that group. It might be in your church. It might be a close friend or something that you can do a FaceTime. You can do a Zoom call. Don't do this alone. It's honestly, you're not going to come out better. The second way that you can help your quarantine not suck, or the second thing that you can do, is to create new habits. That's right. It is time to create a new hobby. I should say hobby instead of habits, because we'll get to the habits. But what's that hobby? I mean, think about this. What's that hobby that you've always wanted to start, but you always said you're too busy? Rona solved that for you. You're no longer that busy. I mean, I thought, and maybe it's different for your school, but I've heard some students like they're finally like enjoying homeschooling. Like, people made fun of homeschooling until you is all homeschooled now, and now you can just get rid of all your school pretty quick in the morning and start a new hobby. I mean, I'll tell you what it's been for me. I love languages. Mi piace molto la lingua italiana. La lingua italiana è molto bella. Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch. Honestly, I can't really say I speak that much German because I'm like so low in my vocabulary, but I do have a line in Japanese. Check it out. If you're Japanese, you can correct me. Let's see if I still remember. I took about 2 semesters. Yeah. So when you meet someone, you gotta go, hajimemashite, Andrew desu, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. I don't know why I got so like, wait, what's the comics? What are the Japanese comments? I totally forgot. It's like, I want to say kanji, but that's not it. What is it? Anime. Thank you. My director over here back here is telling me anime. I just went like total anime right there. Hajimemashite, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. I don't know. I mean, I'm not making fun of anime. I don't watch it too much. I just felt like that was very, very accurate. If you're an anime person, like tell me how my impersonation was, because I'm pretty sure it was great. But hey, maybe language is not your thing, but maybe it is. Maybe it's starting to learn a new instrument. I have a lot of friends who are picking up the guitar, and it's actually impressive the amount of work that the amount of progression that you can achieve when you put the work to it. I mean, I'll tell you, my very own brother, Chris, he only played the drums until now when he's like, oh, I just want to pick up the piano. But he was a little bit bored. He had some extra quarantine time. So he started picking up the piano. The guy freaking plays piano. You know how long it took me to play piano? The blood, sweat, and tears. And apparently in 2 days, he picks up the Nashville number system. If you're a musical guy, you know what I mean. But I want to encourage you, like, what is that habit right now? For a lot of it might not even be playing an instrument. It might be just journaling. Like, honestly, this is a time just to put your thoughts on paper. Like, not just to have them boggling in your mind, but maybe you have a great skill in writing a book. I saw a friend on Facebook that wrote a book, and I have some great friends that are great writers. So use this time. That's the second way that you can help your quarantine not suck, is by actually being productive in a new hobby. So I like cooking. I was actually just thinking today, my mom and I were baking a cake. I know. We were baking a cake. We were in the British baking cook-off. So we started baking this lemon cake. Dude, I don't even know cake terms. I'm that bad. I have to start this new hobby. But I'm pretty sure it was a key lime pie. It was a key lime pie. We started baking it. We started cracking 2 eggs on that. The timer was running. My sweat was running through my forehead. I was so pressured when I realized I wasn't in the competition. And yeah, my cake was okay. But I got to tell you, I was actually kind of interested. So maybe I'll pick that hobby up. But I want to encourage you. The first thing is to get connected. The second way for your quarantine not to suck is to start a new hobby. And one of the ways is you can actually combine that. You can combine getting connected and starting a new hobby. So maybe you have a friend who likes playing music too, or they want to start learning it together. Do a Zoom call and start playing it. Actually, one of my best friends and I, we like writing music. So that's one of the things that we've been hitting the grind in. We'll put a Google Hangouts call together and we'll start writing music together. Sure, the sound sucks, but at least we get to get connected. And the third way, and I want to encourage you, hopefully you're taking notes and you're seeing how this applies to you, because it's really helped me. The third way is to create routines. So let's recap real quick. Let's recap. So the first way is to get connected, right? Be intentional. Just because you're online does not mean you're more connected. It just means that you have more opportunities to get connected. So get online, get connected. The second thing is, hey, work on that new hobby that you've been wanting, that certain skill. Maybe you didn't even know it, but you could speak Japanese if you only tried to learn it. Or maybe it's been an instrument, or it could be you're just a boss of video games or something like that. A lot of people are spending time in video games, actually. And which that's another graph from the New York Times. Fascinating. With the other one, number 3, is create routines. This is what I mean by that. It is very easy when your world starts shifting that you kind of break away from your daily routine. I mean, I understand that the first week of quarantine was great, right? You slept in, you had online classes. You're like, finally, I don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. But that's actually like not healthy for you to keep that up, because your body is set and your body works best in routines. Like, actually, if you think about it, our minds, and when I was studying psychology, it's like clockwork, man. Our bodies are very used to thriving in routines. And I've even heard when working out, if you work out at the same time, kind of with the same environment. So if you don't eat breakfast before you work out, keep that consistent. Or if you eat breakfast, keep that consistent. Consistency is key. So create a routine that works for you. So one of the things that I encourage you, for example, it's very tempting, is don't oversleep. Every day, okay? I overslept on Saturday, all right? But that's Saturday. But don't oversleep every single day. Create a routine to wake up early. You don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. I don't. I usually wake up 7:30 every morning, and 7:35 I try to get up. 7:40 I kind of get up, and I'm just kidding. No, I do get up at 7:30. But maybe it's 8 o'clock for you, 7 o'clock for you. Whatever it is, don't oversleep, because you actually want to use the time to be productive in it. And the more you oversleep, the more you just feel, Like, have you ever just slept too much? Well, you have the decision of how to fix that. Maybe another routine for you, if is your school schedule. So work with an actual routine in your school schedule. Get up, get dressed, take a shower, do your school. Don't think that from your pajamas in your bed, you're going to have to be the most productive. It doesn't work. Like, there's a lot of studies that I've heard, at least, that share that you have to get in the mode of working. So create that routine. Maybe you're out of school and you're just working. Well, you have your work schedule. Create a routine of what you're going to do afterwards. So you're not sitting on the couch scrolling through Instagram for like the longest time possible. And that way you can create a routine and you can be successful. I got to tell you, this is what's hard for me. So I'm blessed right now to still have a job. I know a lot of people have lost their jobs. That's why I'm not complaining that I'm working, because it's a blessing. So I have basically a 9-to-5 job. And one of the things that my family and I have been doing is we've been going for a walk like every day. I used to be that kid who hated going for walks. Like, seriously, I hated it. I was like, why are we going for a walk again? Like, no, just walk the dog. Don't walk me. I don't want to go for a walk right now. But I can't tell you, ever since this Rona stepped into our lives, which, by the way, is not welcomed in our lives, this coronavirus, ever since that coronavirus started, we've been taking a walk, and it's been amazing. Amazing. One, stay fit, folks. Don't let the food get you, because we all know, don't lie to me, we all know we eating more. Don't lie to me, because there's a lot more snacks in my pantry, and they're running out quick every single time. So it's good to get that walk in. It's good to get those routines in. So I want to ask you the question. What is your routine? What works best for you right now that's going to help? And one of the best things is combine all of them. Create a routine. Like, for example, one of the things right now is my grandpa is in a retirement home, and with this whole corona, no one can visit him. No one can visit him because of his health and his age. But one of the things that we're starting to do is a routine of calling him every Sunday. Every Sunday, having church, we'll sing a hymn with him. It was really cool. We did it today. And so I want to encourage you to create a routine with everything. So create a routine to get connected with friends. Set up a Zoom call or something like that. Create a routine to work on your habit. And then maybe to work on your hobby. It could be right after school, you're going to spend half an hour playing the guitar. What else you got to do? There's nothing else for us to do. Because I once heard it this way, that you can leave this quarantine bitter, battered, or better. It's your choice. We can leave bitter and think, oh God, why is this even happening? Oh my gosh. I get it. Like, if you're in school and you thought you were going to walk the stage, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sincerely sorry that you can't walk the stage and receive your diploma in front of, hundreds of people. Like, that is a great achievement that I know you've been working for, and now you can't do it. Or if you were in college and you were having your first semester and you got sent home because you can't live the college life in a way that just, it's a great experience. I'm sorry that you can't do that. But I encourage you not to leave this quarantine bitter and just say all the things that you messed out. But don't leave it battered either. Don't leave it barely surviving and just kind of just hit around and just come out of this thing even worse. Leave it better. And that actually is your choice. Is your choice to see how you will leave this quarantine. Because I heard this quote that the pessimist sees a problem in every opportunity, but the optimist sees an opportunity in every problem. So the corona is a problem. But my question is, will you see a problem in this new opportunity, or will you see an opportunity in this problem? It's up to you. Hey, we'll see you next episode. God bless.